Of the roughly 500 amphibian species known from Amazonia, well over half live in Peru. Yet this country contains some of the most unexplored rainforest on Earth. Peru exhibits exceptionally high poison frog diversity, home to over a third of all poison frogs, many of which are endemic to the country. Recent worldwide amphibian declines and extinctions have scientists scrambling to uncover the magnitude of this diversity before it vanishes forever. In 1924, geologist Harvey Bassler collected a small frog from the Andean foothills in northern Peru. The specimens he collected were forgotten until half a century later, eventually being found in an old museum collection. Finally, Dendrobates captivus was described, but from badly preserved specimens, leaving no indication as to what this species looks like. 77 years have now passed since the frog was last seen. Its colors are unknown, its locality inaccessible, and in a time of amphibian extinctions, even its very existence is uncertain. A group of graduate student biologists have taken on the task of rediscovering this species, facing a several-day journey up the headwaters of the Amazon into uncharted territories known to be inhabited by fearsome natives.
Existir por la ambición de los hombres, no habrá tiempo para lamentar la destrucción de tus bosques. Nuestros hijos entenderán la razón de esta destrucción. Cerro Escalera eres tú, la cadena montañosa. Peligra mucho tu existir por la ambición de los hombres. No habrá tiempo para lamentar la destrucción de tus bosques. Nuestros hijos entenderán la razón de esta destrucción.
So today's Friday and we're about ready to start the Captivus trip. Richard had a few falls on a motorcycle the other day and has a deep cut and laceration in his knee. And the problem with that now, about a week later, it's starting to get infected and we're not sure how he is and what his capabilities are in the field now. So we're going to have to go see a doctor and have a specialist look at it to make sure that he's alright to travel.
Untreated infections are extremely dangerous in the Third World. Richard's congenital heart condition makes him a prime candidate for endocarditis.
Para una persona que tiene problemas valvulares,
And for someone who has valve problems,
es de muy alto riesgo.
it's a high risk.
Pienso personalmente, libre de cualquier cosa,
Free of any other thing.
que no debe.
Again, you shouldn't go to the forest.
Alright, we're finishing up at the doctor's office. My knee was worse than they thought. It does not have an infection, but unfortunately there's a high risk that it will, which will go to my heart and it can be fatal. So I'm going to wait, take some penicillin and wait on the first half of the trip. and hopefully bounce back and discover Captivus with or without me. I don't really know a lot about the trip. It's a bit of a mystery. It's going to be really exciting. In fact, all we know is we're going to jump on a truck and hit on a boat and go into the unknown. You know, it could be as great as discovering a half dozen new species on this trip. So, you know, for a photographer, for a videographer, for any young budding biologist, this is definitely the trip of a lifetime.
Evan kind of guilted me into going to this trip. He said, because we've always been on expeditions together. It's always kind of been the two of us and then other people. So that's the first reason I decided to go on this trip. Second is every biologist dreams about finding new species. I mean, that's probably the most exciting thing about being a biologist here in Peru is going and seeing something no one ever has seen before, or just discovering it and realizing it's something new.
So now we're scrambling to make a Tarapoto exit tonight and make it to Yurimaguas, which is a river town about 4 hours north of here. The species Dendrobates captivus that we're looking for is one of the most poorly understood Dendrobates of the poison frogs. It's only been seen that we know of in 1924 by the guy that discovered it, and after that it's been described by people who never saw it alive. So we could be the first people to photograph and document this frog.
Good morning. Day 2 begins at Yurimaguas. We're about to get on a boat and head up the river to further our mission to Captivus. I'm here to show you my knee. I'm going to clean it with some alcohol. It's not going to be pretty.
¿De verdad sabe cruzar el Pongo?
Ah, sí, le hemos preguntado. Papadita, este tiempo no es nada.
Dendrobates captivus is located in an extremely remote area of Peru, accessible only by traveling several days upriver by boat. Prior to reaching base camp, the team must ascend the infamous Pongo de Manseriche, signaling the end of the navigable portion of the Amazon. The lush lands above the Pongo are inhabited by the fabled Aguaruna Indians, a tribe most well known for their curious practice of shrinking the heads of their enemies. These natives have a notorious reputation in Peru of being both fearful and aggressive towards foreigners. After a day descending the Huallaga River, the group made a westward turn to begin the ascent of the mighty Marañón, the river giving rise to the Amazon.
There's just hundreds of things will probably going through our heads as we sit on the boat. Once we get there, it's just gonna be a mad scramble for who can find the first frog and who can get the first picture, and it'll be like a gold rush for crazy biologists. And hopefully I'm the one who wins.
I chose this trip because, you know, I've been dying to come down to Peru for a while. I've always liked the poison dart frog species, and, you know, I've got some good buddies down here, so I'm looking forward to it.
Darkness prevents further travel. With another day in the boat looming ahead, the group stops at San Lorenzo.
Morning, Walter. Morning.
Morning comes early in San Lorenzo as final preparations are made for the expedition. This is the last stop where fuel can be acquired. As the boat is rigged, the scientists reach out to locals.
All right, we're just about ready to leave for somewhere between a 5 to 9 hour trip. We'll see. I've gotten varied answers. Right now we're going around asking a bunch of farmers if they'd seen any of the frogs from this book, so we're trying to get an idea what's around here. In case we were really lucky and find Captivus and all the frogs in the valley, we'll come back here and search a little bit. One guy's like, they're all here. I'm like, oh, that's of course this place is a treasure chest. So we've been on the river for like all day yesterday and all day so far today, and we haven't seen barely any houses on the river. I think we're pretty much in the middle of nowhere. So if we break down, we're in trouble. Yeah. We got a long way to swim. Today, the plan is to make it to Santa Marisa, which should be a couple hours from here. And then we'll eat lunch there.
La traición de la quena, y yo amoroso te he traído, tanto querido, más amargo que tus penas, oh Virgen del Sol. Linda ñusta del Perú, tienes la virtud de encadenar a tus pies mi corazón, y en el ritmo cadencioso un canto querido, más amargo que tus penas, oh Virgen del Sol.
Just came around the bend and we're finally getting a full glimpse of these mountains, and they're more spectacular and bigger than we ever had thought. We're looking at them and we just have absolutely no idea what we're going to find here. We're for sure the first herpetologists that have ever entered, so there's a high probability that we'll find interesting things that nobody's seen before. So right now we're going to bleach our boots because there's a fungus called chytrid that kills all the frogs, and we've been in areas where we know the fungus is.
The toad genus Atelopus has been particularly hard hit by the disease. Chytrid grows on an amphibian's skin, causing the victim to suffocate and die. Recent studies have shown that within 6 months, chytrid can eliminate over half of all frog species. Over 90% of Atelopus species are now classified as critically endangered or extinct. Chytrid can be spread to new sites on the boots of unwitting travelers. Since the region where the group is headed is unexplored and potentially fungus-free, the team will bleach their boots and equipment so as not to spread the deadly disease.
it's getting bad.
Finally, the group has reached the Pongo de Manseriche. This treacherous rapid is formed by a precipitous gorge that constricts the 750-meter-wide Marañón to a violent 120-meter-wide whirlpool. The lands above the Pongo are inhabited entirely by indigenous tribes. It was here Captivus earned its name. Geologist Harvey Bassler recalled standing ashore and witnessing a returning Indian war party, canoes filled with captives whose imprisoned fate was sealed.
So we just arrived in the Captivus locality. We went through the Pongo de Manseriche, which is a really narrow, really intense rapid set. And we got down here, we're setting up our base camp here on the beach. And right now we're about to head out on both sides of the forest to go look for Captivus.
The group's base camp is located deep in Aguaruna territory. Their guide, Manuel Miranda, decides to visit the tribe tonight in order to begin negotiations to remain on Aguaruna lands. Part of the group was brought to the other side of the river to enter the forest. Meanwhile, the remaining team establishes camp and begins meal preparations. As negotiations take longer than expected, the small group is stranded across the river.
I'm glad I'm not out on the river at night. That's not my idea of fun. Take some cecina too.
It's about the best spaghetti and ketchup that you can find this side of the Morona River.
The Aguarunas Indians, which scare the hell out of me. There's thousands of tales of them eating people's eyes out and just unnameable things. Some of them are true and some of them are not. So we definitely need to proceed with caution on this. I mean, if we were foolish about this and arrogant or complacent, we definitely could die on this expedition.
Y bueno, nosotros fuimos a conversar la noche anterior previa a nuestra visita dentro del territorio de ellos, pidiendo permiso y al APU de la comunidad para ser autorizados a la visita de ellos. Después de mucha deliberación y discusión entre cada uno de ellos, tuvieron mucha deliberación de más o menos de 2 horas y al final decidieron de que podíamos ir siempre y cuando en principio durmiéramos dentro de la comunidad, ya que les preocupaba el lugar donde nosotros habíamos acampado, que era en medio del cañón donde se forma el Pongo de Manseriche. Va a hablarle en Wambisa, okay. Traduce a castellano y tú le traduces a inglés.
So this is a Wambisa tribe. It's different than Aguaruna, but they're very similar, but they're warring tribes. So what we're going to do now is he's going to tell us some of the customs and the traditions in Wambisa. And this gentleman's going to translate it into Spanish, from Wambisa to Spanish, and I'm going to have to translate it from Spanish to English then.
Yo solamente sin basarse está bueno, no. Él se siente orgulloso por estar junto con ustedes.
He said he's very proud to be with us right now.
Se siente, dice, muy, o sea, nunca ha visto que ha venido así como ustedes aquí.
He said he's never seen with so many people coming in like us, so many foreigners.
Ya,
He said historically, back in like times of their forefathers and their grandfathers, there had been a lot of fighting. He mentioned one part a few minutes ago about how there was more women in the Wampisa tribe than in the Aguaruna, and they would try to steal the women. But he said now it's much more peaceful. They still have skirmishes, but it's not as bad. The bowls that you traditionally drink the masato from, masato, he said, is chewed yuca mixed with water and some sugar.
Well, I'll take him back.
He said any chance he can come to help us out or come to with us, that he'd be more than happy to come with us. Just want to check on it.
The team still has to engage in negotiations with the Aguarunas tribe in order to arrive in the type locality for Captivus. Unfortunately, due to cultural and social beliefs, they were not permitted to film the community.
Buenos días. Nuestra primera incursión o visita a una comunidad de Aguaruna, para ellos es algo completamente novedoso el que vengan extranjeros desde fuera. Dentro de la mentalidad de ellos era que era bastante extraño que pudiera venir una gente en avión y todo solamente para ver unas ranas. Las motivaciones y todo que ellos pudieran tener les daba un poco de inseguridad y duda al respecto. Llegamos y empezaron nuevamente a discutir sobre las cantidades de tiempo que íbamos a estar, si íbamos a contratar gente local o estábamos trayendo gente de fuera, llegando en un momento a romper todo el acuerdo y pedirnos que por favor nos retiráramos de la comunidad, ya que preferían que no estuviéramos allí. Posteriormente de ello, y una vez autorizado, ya los ánimos calmados fueron sumamente nos ayudaron bastante en nuestra investigación, una descripción aproximadamente de la especie objetivo que veníamos a ver, y ellos decidieron cuál de las diferentes arroyos o ríos habían, cuál sería el más indicado para encontrarnos.
A rainforest has many different levels of habitat, and the group did not know where they could expect to find the elusive Captivus. Different poison frogs inhabit different areas of the forest. Some species are found in the canopy, others are in the understory, and some may even be found on the ground amongst the leaf litter.
Right now we're looking at a bunch of breeding plants. We're looking for plants such as bromeliads and heliconias. And we're looking for, that's the frog we're kind of looking for, all sorts of frogs on those. And then we're also looking kind of anywhere for just general Dendrobates. Eso es, ¿no?
Eso que canta, eso es. ¿Ojito? Ajá. Por allá, cántale. Por allá. A ver, voy a buscar. A ver.
We were all looking in the woods in different areas, and one of our friends, Manuel, from Chasuda, came and he went and he found this frog and he was yelling for me, and I came over as fast as I could, and sure enough he was holding in his hand the first Captivus.
Holy crap, guys!
Chris! This is the sweetest frog ever.
Hero.
Holy crap, they're so much better than you would think. Yep, beautiful.
Top 10 frog.
Wow. Así es. Oh! Yeah! Yes! Mission accomplished!
Dude, they're awesome!
Holy cow!
Oh!
Yes! That's awesome! Oh man!
Dude!
Yes! Wow!
That's what
Crap. Now we need to find the tadpoles and call.
Oh.
First tape ever of Dendrobates captivus.
This is the first
documented sighting of Captivus.
Well, we believe this is Captivus because it fits the description. We had absolutely before, we had no idea what the colors would be. Everything was just a guess. This fits the description pretty well. Dorsolateral hash marks like broken stripes with 2 spots of different colors on the thighs.
Ooh, it's so nuts.
It's so amazing, dude.
It could be Wakara group too, it's bicolored. I don't know what group
Oh
it is.
my god, it's
The
so
head is
amazing.
so strange.
That is, look at, the toes are really short too. Look at the hands and the fingers on the front toes, they're really short.
Alright, I gotta go catch one for myself.
Yeah.
Dude, it's imitator group. It's gotta be. It's tadpoles. White, cover. Yeah!
There are over 200 species of poison dart frogs, but less than a quarter are brightly colored like these. These frogs are toxic, using their bright colors to warn predators to stay away. They get their toxins from the ants in their diet, extracting alkaloid toxin from the ants and storing it in specialized glands in their skin.
Yes, we have a tadpole too now. This is perfect. Tadpole's never been described either.
¿No está descrito?
Huh?
¿Cuál es la que tienes ahí?
Es Captivus. Y tiene renacuajo también.
Ah, tiene renacuajo.
Sí.
The call is so weird. We have to record the call. It's like a really coarse Ventromaculatus group.
Really? Maybe
It's
that's
like, but it's really insect-like. Justin and I got my first. Is the head really pointy like that?
Yeah, it's the same. It looks the same. Record that, please. That's the call.
The next few hours were spent collecting data on Captivus, recording their call, finding tadpoles, and taking notes on their habitat and natural history.
You work from below. You got it? I'm coming. Those are definitely not rare. Wilder, where are you? I have it. Yeah. Okay. Coming.
Oh yeah, where is that group?
I want the tadpoles. Pelican, you found it.
Ja, het was 7 jaar.
I found it.
Huh?
How high?
30 centimeters.
Off the ground?
So day 1 in Captivus, an absolute success. We weren't able to film it all in Alguruna territory because they needed to ask permission from the head chiefs, which was pretty far away. They almost kicked us out twice and got really angry when they were negotiating, so negotiations took about an hour and a half or so at least to be able to have permission even to enter the area. But shortly thereafter we went in, had a bit of rain for about an hour, but within, say, 2 kilometers walk we started finding Captivus. We ended up finding 6 today on both sides of the river, which was absolutely fantastic, and we easily tripled all knowledge of Captivus that was previously known.
Last night, Richard and Wouter ventured up an active stream bed in search of nocturnal tree frogs. About a mile up creek, Richard spotted the iridescent scales of a rainbow boa. Using a shirt, the beautiful constrictor was transported back to camp for measurements and documentation.
That's a female. Watch your finger. Yeah, Wouter, good idea.
This is pretty big. This essentially could be greater than discovering new species. We're in an era of mass extinction, so anytime you hear about frogs being rediscovered, especially after a little under 80 years, that's huge. And so this should be pretty big. We're really excited about it.
Well, for the next few days, I think we'll find probably more Captivus. We were thinking that Captivus was only going to be on the north side of the river, but since we found them on both sides yesterday, then we should find quite a bit more wherever we're looking. What the next big thing I'm expecting is once we get up in these mountains behind us, that we're going to find some sort of poison frogs, the bigger ones, Dendrobates, that are endemic to the mountains, which is pretty common throughout Peru. You usually find some sort of montane species, so I'm hoping we should find them here.
The group decides to split up. The film crew will remain with the Aguarunas to continue filming Captivus, while Jason, Evan, and Wouter would attempt to cross the Cerros de Campanquis with hopes to discover new species of frogs. Initial observations reveal that Captivus primarily inhabits the forest floor, but like other poison frogs, frequently visits the understory plants to deposit their tadpoles. Captivus appeared to be most common near small streams or in low-lying primary rainforest.
Seriously, forget it. If I can't hear it, it's not worth it. Nasal, metallic sounding. Okay. There. Yeah, hurry up, Colin. You're going to film this one. This is Captivus.
Poison frogs are diurnal, or day active, and have interesting reproductive behaviors. Typically, a small clutch of 4 to 6 eggs is laid in the leaf litter. The father will guard these eggs until they hatch, and when they do, the tadpoles will crawl up on their father's back. He then walks around the forest, sometimes for days, in search of water bodies suitable for his tadpoles. Streams are no good. They contain fish. Instead, they select small pools formed in plants, such as heliconia or bromeliads, depositing their tadpoles individually in these miniature aquatic nurseries. After documenting several populations of Captivus, the group returns to Borja, an old Christian missionary settlement. The other members of the party were due in Borja by midday to rejoin the rest of the group. They had set out to cross an unexplored mountain range on the northern side of the Pongo. Local guidesmen said the hike could be done in a half a day, so the group packed lightly. Night is fast approaching. Jason, Evan, and Wouter are nowhere to be found, presumably lost somewhere in the mountains. The remaining team hopes they summited sometime before dark.
Good morning from Borja, Peru. It's been 24 hours since we've seen half our team. They went on a side mission to try to find some new species while we went off to film Captivus and discover a new form of Venture maculatus. They don't have food or water as far as we know, or a place to camp, and what looked like a 12-hour hike has been more than a day. So we're a little apprehensive, we're a little worried, but we can only wait.
Morning becomes afternoon.
Ladder looks dead.
We got more Captivus? Huh?
Any more Captivus?
9 more?
Yeah. For like half the time we were out there, we're lost. The guides are more like tourists.
Huh?
Our guides are more like tourists.
Oh, really? They're not real good mountain men?
There was nothing of a trail. That mountain, there was no trail. Those mountains are rugged.
Are you alright, Wilder?
No beach anymore.
I ordered French fries for you already.
It was the worst trip. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I got dehydrated in the field right away. I'm guessing.
I just want to eat something and shower.
Maybe after.
We were covered in bugs last night. Laying there, there's bullet hands climbing all over.
You guys are slipping.
I was laying in an ant nest.
It was so
I had
bad.
a machete stump in my back.
Like the trail was like a cheese grater the whole way.
Oh, the rocks up there are insane.
They are like
you fall on those things and you just like become pulp. Like,
I got the
like
crap
rough.
beat out of my hands.
Oh, we walked yesterday night over a
You
cliff.
guys, when you guys
We were
found
walking over a path of 1 meter, and on both sides we couldn't see the treetops.
Let's see my eye. Infection. We all kind of. Water just passed out.
Water just
Fell
passed out.
asleep.
I sat down for about 5 minutes and I just barfed everywhere. And we're like, this is it. This is the end of the road.
Well, come on inside.
I made it. But when instantly we took our socks off, there are like thousands of bugs on your feet. So we're trying to sleep just for like the first hour and dry our feet. And all these bugs are just attacking us. We're just laying there. All three of us were like in parallel rows, laying on heliconia leaves, just in the middle of the forest. And there's all these weird noises, like these I don't know what they're like, monkeys or some night monkeys or something, are just screaming. And Wilder thought we were gonna get attacked by jaguars, so every 5 minutes he's like, "What about the jaguars?" He's like, "I'm not worried. I just keep talking about it."
Got some food, man.
After 77 years, Dendrobates captivus is no longer a mystery. Captivus turned out to be more vividly colored and utterly striking than ever expected. The group surveyed several sites around the Pongo de Manseriche, and the population of Captivus appears to be flourishing. Although there are undoubtedly more discoveries to be made in and around the Pongo, this was an important initial survey of a previously unknown area. The Santiago Valley region is on the verge of being listed as a national park, and hopefully, the expedition will help lay the groundwork for future studies in this remote area. More biological investigations in this region could eventually provide a basis for elevating the Santiago Valley to monumental status. Developing countries like Peru are particularly susceptible to deforestation. Though the Santiago Valley is relatively pristine, nearby oil drilling and road construction may quickly place the area at risk for deforestation. Captivus appears to be restricted to the Santiago Valley, and thus has a very small range, being at elevated risk for endangerment. The young team had been wildly successful, but at a cost. The scars will slowly fade, but the memory of the adventure will last forever.
Al verte triste, quiero que sepas que te amo tanto con todo el alma. Hoy te venero, ahora comprendo tanta ternura que me brindabas en mi niñez. Cuántas angustias, cuántos desvelos has soportado por mi existir. Por eso canto con alegría junto a mi madre, con mucho amor, pidiendo a Dios que te conceda las bendiciones de corazón. Gracias, mamita, por perdonarme los malos tratos que yo te he dado. Hoy en tu día quiero abrazarte y darte un beso en tu mejilla. Ahora comprendo tanta ternura que me brindabas en mi niñez. Cuántas angustias, cuántos desvelos has soportado por mi existir. Por eso canto